Thank you, Zach, and thank you everyone for attending my demonstration of Lynq Visual Planner to you this morning. I appreciate you giving up your valuable time to take a look at this solution, and thanks for putting this on, Zach, algorithm. I appreciate that. Okay, so what are we going to do today? We're not just going to show you lots of slides. I'm going to give you a live demonstration of Visual Planner for POP, production order processing. And this is the agenda. We've got an hour here to go through this. So I'm going to be as quick as I can to get you through this and give you a good overview, if you like, of the solution and what it could potentially do for you and your business. Okay, there is an exclusive offer slide that I want to show you right towards the end there, so don't hang up before then, please. Okay, and we, as Zach mentioned, we've got some questions. We've got some time for questions right towards the end. Just a quick introduction. My name's John Grima. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing here at Lynq. And Lynq are an exact Macola reseller, have been for over 20 years now. And we're also a developer of Macola integrated solutions, and this is one of them. Visual Planner, as it says there, initially started as a problem within our customer base. Our customers were looking for solutions that would allow them to plan and schedule production. So we looked at the marketplace and decided that there wasn't anything out there that would provide the level of integration and ease of use that would be suitable for our customer base. So we started to develop Visual Planner, and it's now sold as Visual Planner, also Exact Planner through Exact, and the number of sites is growing steadily. So what does it do? Well, I'm going to go through that with you shortly, but just want to talk why we've developed this solution to meet the challenges of our customers, and they're similar challenges that you face. You're in manufacturing, and you all face similar challenges in trying to find the best way to purchase, allocate, and utilize production resources, meeting those all-important customer delivery dates, trying to keep costs to a minimum, and of course in manufacturing, production is where a lot of those costs occur. And obviously, the challenge is, a lot of customers are working with tools that are unintegrated, don't integrate into Macola, spreadsheets, whiteboards, access databases. It's very hard to keep on top of your production plans when they're constantly changing, and demands are really quite heavy on the production scheduler to get the production plan right. And that it's not made easy working in Excel spreadsheets, as most of the customers that have purchased this product have come from that kind of environment. You've also got the added problem that Macola works on an infinite capacity basis and doesn't really care about whether or not you've got capacity on the shop floor, whether you've got the employees, the resources available to produce, and so on. So right at the very bottom there, we're saying over time the inability to produce reliable production plans may result in higher operating costs and a potential loss of business. We actually have customers that, since using Visual Planner, have actually won contracts that they wouldn't have otherwise won, simply because they can very clearly see the capacity and resources, materials available to be able to produce, and can give reliable expectations to their customers and suppliers. Okay, so they're the kind of common challenges that we all face, or manufacturers face. So, taking it one step further, I mean, your manufacturer's the production process is going to be very important to you. In fact, it should be, as it says there, the heart of what you do. You get the production planning right, all else follows. So what we try to do with Visual Planner is really to give you a solution that enables you to achieve those results, through better use of your resources, capacity, materials, and over time you will start to see an effect on reducing work in progress, lead times. The production planners will see availability, visibility of materials, resources, employees. They'll be able to schedule and have the flexibility to change their schedules to meet, the demands that are made on them. All important, meeting those customer delivery dates. This is totally integrated into Macola, so very quickly, as soon as it's installed, you're really looking at your live Macola pop orders, and you can start scheduling them into your work centres very quickly, and you'll see that when I go into the demonstration. So the production plan or production scheduler has a lot of information at their fingertips to make the right decisions. They're not firefighting. They can see everything, and a lot of our customers have licenses out on the shop floor, so employees can see what's going on. Operators at the shop floor can see what is being scheduled to them. Some of our customers have huge, 50-inch screens out there, so everyone can see what's going on. So it gives you a lot of visibility and makes you become very proactive instead of reactive, which is what you need to be in production. Again, it works with Macola, it works with MRP, reorder advice reports, so your production plans are matching your material plans, helping the buyers concentrate on cost savings, helping you to bring materials in when you need them, when you want to start production, not too early, not too late. And we know that if you're make to order, you have costs tied up in that inventory. Over time, this has proved to save a lot of our customers a lot of money that they would otherwise have tied up in inventory. Kind of a just-in-time way of manufacturing. Right, the demonstration. This is the fun part as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to escape out of this and go into Visual Planner. And Visual Planner is a workstation-based solution. It's installed at the workstation. And when we generate licenses, we generate named user licenses, and within those licenses, you can have roles that are set. So, for instance, a production scheduler would have complete access to the product, so they'd be able to plan and schedule production, see material stock, be able to produce reports, and so on. And then you have kind of like a view-only type role, which allows people on the shop floor to view the production plan, maybe drill into data, and things like that. So it's installed at the workstation level. We have customers out there that have multiple Macola companies and have one production scheduler scheduling for multiple companies. So they have sites that are in different countries, but remote connect into the US company, and therefore the US planner can schedule for those other remote sites. And that's on one install of Visual Planner. Okay, so in POP, unless you have the manufacturing modules, you don't have departments and work centres, and that's something that we give you within Visual Planner. So as part of the implementation process, what you have to do, and we help you do this, is basically set up your standards, what can be produced where. So, if you have products that can only be produced in a certain work centre, then you would hopefully have standards of how many per hour you can produce of that product in that work centre. So we help you build a template that we then upload into, or import rather, into Visual Planner. And once you've done that, you basically see your departments and work centres and all the production orders that you have live that are out there. So that's part of the implementation. As I say, it's necessary that you build a relationship between the items that you can produce and a relationship between them and the departments and work centres that you can produce them in. So that's something that we help you do. And once you've got those standards in Visual Planner, it's just a case of maintaining them and perhaps fine-tuning them as you decide that maybe if you produce a certain item and you're saying that it's 4 units per hour, and in fact really it's only 3. It's just a case of maintaining that information within Visual Planner. Another thing that we do is we give you the ability to set your shifts up, or calendars. So we maintain calendars, and we call them shifts in Visual Planner. So we can say that, for instance, Department A, Work Centre 1 operates a 12-hour shift, and we can have that set up within that work centre. And that gives you the capacity that you have to schedule your orders into. So I'm just going to take you through around the screen here, so you can kind of hopefully make sense. All right. So this area here is called the Factory Explorer. These are the departments and work centres that you will be scheduling into. That's the Factory Explorer. And as I mentioned, you have to create your departments and work centres initially, and then once you've created them, they remain in Visual Planner, and that's it. You've done that job. It's out of the way. Okay, so let me just minimise that. Okay, the next area that I want to go into here is a work centre item. This is where we maintain what can be produced where. So this is where we're talking about, as part of the implementation, we would set up what can be produced where. So for instance, hopefully you can see this in Work Centre W1, Department A, I can produce all of these items, and in my case I have one resource, and that resource could be an employee or a machine. And this is the rate that I can produce those items at. So I've said that for this particular breaker cable assembly in Work Centre W1, I can produce 2 units per hour. Okay, so I can also set whether there's any tool change or line change associated with that item, and so on. One other thing that you may notice here is that I have a work centre priority setting, and that's used in auto scheduling. So for instance, brake and cable assembly here is priority 1. So when I use the auto scheduling feature of Visual Planner will automatically try to schedule the item into that work centre. That's first priority, because I can produce that brake and cable assembly elsewhere. I can produce it in another work centre. Here we go. And you see in, let me scroll down a little bit here. In a work centre W2, you can see that I can produce 3 an hour. and so on. Okay, so that's kind of where you maintain your standards. Once you've obviously imported we've imported the template that we talked about as part of the implementation. And just on the implementation front, on average it takes about 16 hours worth of service time for us to get this product up and running for you. So not a very long time. You may have some fine-tuning to do in between that, but that's a very short time indeed for a production planning and scheduling solution. Okay, so once you've done that, you really are living in this area here, which is called the task panel, and this is where all of your POP orders appear, and your orders appear here automatically. And you can have the system go out and look at any new orders created in Macola. For instance, have it go out and look at Macola every minute, every 5 seconds, and it will just come back, refresh, and bring in new POP orders. Okay, so this is a task panel, and the area beneath the task panel is the planning board. Orders into the planning board. Now, a lot of the production schedulers use dual screens, and they'll have the task panel with all your POP orders in on one screen and the planning board on another screen. So they have kind of look something like this. Okay, so they're all the production lines, the department production lines, and you'll see that like that on one screen. Okay. Now, within the task panel, you can see a lot of information here about the orders, description, status, quantity. You can even see the quantity complete, the start date, due date, and so on. Well, all of this information here, you can do a number of things. You can sort that data down, you can group it, you can filter it. So, for instance, if I wanted to group by item number, all I do is drag the column header up onto this bar here, and you'll see the data parsed down. So I'm grouping by item number, and that's grouped by source due date. That's the original date created in Macola when the order was created. And then you see the data again parsed down. That's grouping data. And if I wanted to, I could export this grouping out into Excel if I wanted to. If I didn't like that grouping, I can just drag the column headers back down, and it goes back to where it was before. If I want to exclude some of this information from the task panel view, it's just a case of clicking on any column header, right-clicking, going to column settings, and unticking the column that you don't want to see, or maybe you're using a user-defined field or another field in Macola that you want to make visible in the task panel, and maybe you want to schedule off of that user-defined field. You can bring that into the view. Where we've got some arrows here, you can actually drill into, for this, it's item master data, and bring item master data into the task panel view. So anywhere you see these little arrows means that you can drill into Macola data and bring it into the view. Okay, again, filtering is something you can do off every single column header, and you can apply filters on multiple criteria, save those filters, and come in to the product and have those filters there ready for you to start your scheduling. So everywhere you see these little arrows, you can click on them and open up a filter and save that filter. So that's the task panel. The area below here, this is the planning board. And the planning board is made up of activities. Now the activities are either working activities or non-working. And this is how we define our shifts. So in Work Center W1 Department A, you can see this blue color represents working time, red is non-working. So I'm working from 8 a.m. right up until 7 p.m. that day. So I'm looking at Thursday the 19th of April, week 16, and that is my shift, 8 a.m. until 7 o'clock. The yellow activity there is lunchtime, so that's when I'm having lunch. Red is non-working time. So this is a calendar, or a shift as we call it, and you can set multiple shifts per work center. So if I go into shifts, this is where I create my shifts. I'm just going to go into my standard shift here. I created a number of shifts, but this is my standard shift. You can see that this is my working week. Now, if I wanted to change, for instance, every Monday I want to work until, let's say, 10 o'clock. Oh, bear with me. That's wrong. All I do is drag the blue bar out, and it's just a drag and drop here. Drag it out until 10, click on apply, and every Monday in my planning interval, which is, I'm just going to point that out to you here, right at the very top of the screen. I don't know whether you can see it there, but my planning interval is the 19th of April right out until the 19th of June. That's 2 months. But you could have your planning interval set for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, whatever you want it to be. And this is what you're going to be scheduling into. But I could have every Monday in that planning interval, I could be working until 10 o'clock every Monday. So it's really easy to adjust your shifts and apply them to your work centers. And you can have multiple shifts in work centers. So we decided to do this because it gives you a lot of flexibility within the product without having to mess around within Macola's limited calendar maintenance. So I'm going to close this out. Okay, now, so at the moment what you're doing is looking at my planning board in half-hour increments. So you see here 8 a.m., 8:30, 9, so on. I can go right down to a 15-minute increment, or I can go right out and see the entire planning interval, so right out until the 19th of June. So all I do is use these little buttons here, and I can zoom in and zoom out. So let me try that now. So now you're looking at my planning interval in hourly increments, 1 hour at a time, 2 hours, 6 hours. You see the scale changing dramatically there, and so on. I haven't got anything scheduled there, but that's the entire planning interval. Just going to scale back up again. And I'm going to start the fun part, which is scheduling. Let's just scale right up a bit. There you go. Move that across. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is schedule one of these orders, order 147 here. And there are two methods of scheduling within Visual Planner. The first is drag and drop. So all I'm doing now is holding down on my mouse key and dragging order 147 down to the work center it can be produced in. Now you notice that 3 of the work centers right on the bottom of the screen are grayed out. That's because this particular item can't be produced in those work centers. All to do with those standards, the work center item relationship that we put in place when we were implementing the software. Okay, so I've said that I can produce this particular item in Department 8, Work Center 1, Work Center 2, and Work Center 3. But I've dragged this order down. There it is there. And you see a tile, a pink tile, which represents this order and the length of time it will take to produce this order in that work center. So it's going to take 2.33 hours to produce. And I know that because we've set those standards up within the work center item relationship area of the software. So if I let go of this tile, you'll see a yellow tile now, which means I've scheduled it in Visual Planner. You get a new start and due date. So there's the new date, 19th of April. There's the original source due date, and we always maintain that. Here it's turned red because it's very late, and this is demo data. As you can see, it's 2 years late. This tile here, I haven't updated Macola yet, and if I wanted to update Macola, it's a click of a button, and these new dates will be written back into Macola. So your reorder advice report will be working off these dates. If you're using MRP, MRP will pick these dates up and be making its recommendations on the back of them. Okay, so this is really important, and this is what this is what we write back to Macola. These dates. So at the moment, this is in this orange color. I can move it around, take it off, move it somewhere else. You may have noticed, I don't know whether you have, but this particular work center is actually it's an employee resourced work center. You could have an employee resource work center or a machine resource work center. And really, what I'm saying by that is, in this particular work center, I typically have 10 of 10 employees available. I've actually utilized one of them to produce this particular order. What I'm going to do now is take the order off the planning board and show you auto-scheduling. Now, auto-scheduling, you can auto-schedule one or many orders in one hit. This is what a lot of the production schedulers use. And we have customers out there that were previously spending upwards of 30 hours a week, in their Excel spreadsheets, that are now spending an hour, 2 hours at most a day in Visual Planner scheduling their orders. Now, obviously this has freed up their production schedulers to concentrate on other lean objectives, but it really has freed up a lot of their time. So I'm going to show you auto scheduling. I'm going to click on order 1447, and that's this one here. And in fact, now let's just do 147 for the time being. I'm just going to click on auto schedule here. And within auto scheduling, you have some options here. You can forward schedule from the planning interval start, the current date, today's date, or the order start date. Okay, or you could backward schedule from the original source due date, the original date that was created on the order. So I'm going to just click on forward schedule, click on schedule, and it's taken literally a second to give me a virtual start date and due date. If I click on OK, you will see the order on the planning board, and it's automatically placed this order on Department A Work Center 3, and let's do that for a number of orders. So I'm highlighting those orders, right click, auto schedule, really easy, click on schedule, and done on the planning board. Already there. Some of these are stacked up because I have resources in those work centers, so I've utilized 5 of my available 10 in that period of time, and they all have new start and due dates. So as I say again, if I click on update button, an update button, all of these dates will be written into Macola. These tiles that represent the orders will turn a different color, a green in my case, which means that they're now written back into Macola. The yellow thumbs up here would turn green, so that confirms that you've written those orders back into Macola. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. Just highlight them all and then right click on update, and they're all in Macola. Green, all in Macola. Now, before you write this back into Macola, these dates back into Macola, you could have done quite a few different things. Before or after, it doesn't really matter. So it depends on how you want to work within the solution. But right from the very beginning here, I can see this little icon here, which is telling me that I do not have enough of a certain component to produce this order. And this is called the material validation module. There's a separate module that needs to be added to this so that you can see this information. But when you've got it, you can see that you can see component shortages. So let me show you that. So for order 147, you can see that I have some shortages there. I can drill into the actual allocations, and this is real-time information. I can look at the actual allocations of a component that I'm short of and see what is out there that is demanded, what other orders are demanding this component, consuming this component. And this is completely dynamic. So, you know, if a stock came in, was booked into Macola, this would turn from red to green, and you'd be able to schedule that order onto the planning board. We don't stop you from doing that, but we just give you a heads up that you're short of components. So this is live, real time, and actually dynamic as well. So it's, you know, not having to wait for an MRP run to find this information out. It's there at your fingertips. So that's material validation. There is another way that you can look at component shortages, and that's called trial kitting. And I'm going into trial kitting here. And trial kitting is actually going out and looking at the captured bill of materials for that order and highlighting any shortages. It's just looking at captured bill of materials. From what I can't do here is drill into the allocations, like the material validation feature that I've just shown you. But I'm looking at the captured bill of materials, and I'm looking at the quantity on hand, allocated on order. I'm actually going out and looking at the quantity available at the time that I have this scheduled here, and I'm still short. And I can also see that I'm looking at the quantity available plus on order 7 days beyond the date that I have this scheduled in the plan. I'm still short, and it's showing me any open orders that I have out there. And so open orders, let me go into one here. It's probably a better example, this one here. If I drill into the open orders, I can see what is due in. So hopefully you can see this. I can see the requested dates, promised dates, and, you know, as the production planner, I may want to get in touch with the material planner and say, look, you know, I've got capacity, I've got the machines available, the resources available. Can you see if you can expedite that stock and get it in so I can start production and meet that customer delivery date? The materials planner could have a view of this information as well on their screen and see this information as well. Again, it can be exported out. You can export any of these grids to Excel. If you want to view the information in Excel, you can sort, group, filter like I did in the task panel. Other things that you can do from here, you can look at other stocking locations. So if you have other stocking locations with you may want to check to see if you have that stock there, or maybe do a transfer. You can print this out and so on. So this is really giving the production planner, the material planner, a lot of visibility, real-time information at their fingertips without having to go into Macola and get this information. So that's trial kitting. This is one of the drill down features of the product. Another feature that you have here is that you can attach documents to orders. So if you had CAD drawings, inspection instructions, anything that you wanted to appear on the order When it's so that it's made available elsewhere, maybe on the shop floor, you're not sending paperwork around, then you can do that. So the paperclip symbol means that I've attached a document to this order. I can drill into data as well. I've got this feature here called drill down, and this goes right into Macola. It's kind of like multi-level item view on steroids. So I can go into the captured bomb, drill into that. I can go into all sorts of information from here. So there's lots of information that I can get into without going into Macola. It's all at your fingertips. So that's the drill down feature. What I want to do now is really talk about some of the other features that you have within the product. For those of you that may be using force demand or pull in Macola, then you're able to schedule at that very top level. So for instance, if you're using pull, a customer order entered would automatically generate pop orders. Then you could schedule at that customer order level, and it will flow through and schedule and keep the complete hierarchy together. We have another option called what if order, and that is where you, for instance, may get your sales manager on the phone, who's on the phone to his best customer, and the customer wants to know whether or not you can produce 200 widgets by the end of the month. Now you want to give that customer reliable information, and all the production planner needs to do is to go into a tab called what if order and create a virtual order. Now this order doesn't exist in Macola, it exists in Visual Planner. So let's create one. And let's get the item description, item number rather. Yep, that'll do. And let's 20, and let's select the due date. When does the customer want it by? Let's say the 15th. And if you were using pull, you may want to create dependent orders here, so you'd need to tick that option there. But now I'm going to click on OK, and you will see a what if order. WI is what if, and the production planner would then be able to schedule that order into the plan. So I have no problem scheduling that what if order into the plan. I have lots of capacity available to me. So then it's just a case of, there it is there, of going back to the sales manager and saying, yeah, please take that order, and we can, we'll be able to meet that demand, that delivery date. And but that is a virtual order. It doesn't exist in Macola. Now, in the future, what we're going to do is allow you to be able to convert a what if order into a live production order directly from a Visual Planner. Not got there yet, but we're working on that. Okay. The next thing that I want to show you is we can actually create pop orders directly from Visual Planner. So I can add and release a pop order directly from Visual Planner without needing to do that in Macola. So it's just a case of going into add pop order and creating that pop order here, clicking on OK. That would update Macola. You'd be able to schedule that into the plan, and and that's it. Okay, so we haven't gone as far as being able to report and complete from here, but you can create and release a pop order directly from Visual Planner. Okay, if those of you that are using MRP, you can have set up to generate computer plan and firm planned orders, you are able to, by using an additional module called the MRP scheduling module, you will be able to schedule computer plan and firm planned orders into the plan very easily, same way that I showed you before. Okay, so now what I want to do is go into some of the reports that we have. I'm going to run a standard production plan report for you. And I'm looking at this planning interval. I'm just going to generate a report. It generates a crystal report. There you go. Open that up. So this is what I've got scheduled on my board right now. Just a very basic report, but it's telling you what department work centres you have scheduled orders into, start times, end times, quantities, and so on. So that's one of the reports. And the next report is the pop order report, which is kind of like a shop packet report. And this is showing you a little bit more detail, the customer, the quantity ordered, and the items to be produced, start times, end times, and so on. Okay. Next report that I want to show you is the late delivery report. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Report. There we go. How are we doing for time? We're almost there. So that's the late delivery report. You know, you can see that I'm very late here. The original source due date, the original date is very late. So you see on the planning board that you're late. You see that you're late in the task panel that I showed you here. It turns red. The original date turns red. You've got the late delivery report, so you've got a really good heads up if you're going to be late. Lots of flexibility. You can drag these around. You know, if you didn't want that there, you can move it out. Click on update, and you're updating that order back into Macola. Those new dates back into Macola. Other things that we have here, we have a capacity chart that I'm going to show you now very quickly because we're running out of time. I'm just going to click on apply. So what this is showing me is this is my net calendar hours that I have available in the planning interval, 13,970. I've only scheduled 28.25 hours. I have 13,941 hours unscheduled that I need to get scheduled. So there's lots of other information that I can get from here. I can, let me just run this very quickly. Process, released, unreleased, and stack this. This is looking at the demand versus the available hours. And let's look at this weekly, apply, and export to Excel. Because it's probably going to be a bit easier to see it in Excel. Bear with me. I'm going to have to skip that because it's not running for some reason in the background here. But you would get an Excel spreadsheet which would show you week by week what you've got scheduled out there, what you need to, what is remaining to be scheduled per work centre department, whether you have any what if orders out there, CPs and FPs, and the load on the work centre. You'd have a percentage load, so you're 50% loaded on that work centre that week. So this is something that would be very useful in your planning meetings. So that's the capacity chart capabilities of the product. And just last but not least, before I skip out of this, there's another view of the plan. We call it the Outlook view. It's not actually Outlook, but it's just another way that you can look at the production plan. So this is looking at Department A Work Centre 1, 19th of April, and these blocks represent what it is you've got scheduled out there, order 150, and you can do things like attach documents and reschedule and drill into this information as well. So that was the drill down feature, the Outlook feature, just another way that you can look at your production plan. Okay, so moving swiftly on. Okay, so what have you seen? You've seen strategic software that will help your business optimize the production process, giving you additional control required for effective planning and resource management. Software that does return a quick return on investment. We have customers, reference sites out there that would vouch for that. They've all seen big, substantial cost savings, and as I mentioned, winning orders, and certainly has changed the way they plan production. It's a very up to date in terms of technology-wise. It's relatively easy to have implemented and up and running, very quick. You're going to make the best use of the resources that you have available to you. That's the production scheduler will find this very easy to use, and will be able to work and be able to adapt plans very quickly and easily, and give management information very quickly and reliable information. It's also supported by us. We have many years experience of Macola, and have obviously developed this, and it's a very good product to have in place. I think as I mentioned, production planning is at the heart of any good manufacturing business, and having this at the heart of your business is definitely something that